Hi everyone, welcome back. Today, I'm kind of sick of how my car looks. Thank you all once again for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so because it's free for you and it helps me a ton on the business end, more than you could even imagine. And tell your friends because word of mouth is really how you spread these things, and it helps me so much. I can't even begin to tell you. Anyway, I'm getting back to work on the car. Hope you enjoyed my excessively long video about my welder. Sorry, that one was a little bit longer than I expected, but at least I showed you it pretty in depth, and you got to learn along with me. Today, I am back on the race car, like I said, and I'm doing something for myself that's a little bit unnecessary, but at the same time, kind of is necessary. I went and bought paint. Now, I'm going to lay these out for you, and then in the meantime, while you wait for the scene to change, take a guess at how much 4 cans of spray paint cost me. As you can see, I've got 4 cans of spray paint. 2 semi-gloss black, 2 gloss white. I have another gloss white of the same brand hanging around, so I just got 2 spares. I figured if I don't paint the quarters or bumpers or fenders or the nose, because they're already a specific color, and if I keep it to just refreshing this little line here, I might take some black and redo the sides and the top, not sure yet. And just the doors and rockers, because, you know, they're the only ones that aren't painted or actually tastefully colored. I figured I'd get it done in a couple cans. And then I got this, it had kill in the name, so I had to buy it, especially with the words rust, because it's a bit rusty back here. It's not weak, it's just rusty. So I wanted to kill that surface rust, and I figured why not kill the surface rust. So, with all that in mind, by the way, you notice that I actually did work on my bench and it's semi-cleaned off. I just got to put this stuff away because I made some shelving room. Now, take a guess how much 4 cans of spray paint cost. Ready? $40. $40. With tax, that averages out to $10 a can for spray paint. Literally a handful of years ago, not even that long ago, probably the last time I painted this car, paint was a third of that price. It was probably $4.50 a can. $4 a can. Whatever. That's more like half. Bear with me. But it was so much cheaper. And obviously, since COVID and a regime change in the government, oil prices have gone through the roof. So, I mean, what is paint, especially oil-based and lacquer and all sorts of other paints, mostly petroleum-based products, have gone through the roof, and shortages, and diesel prices are still through the roof, which means transport costs, etc., and I hate all of it because it means now everything costs more for everybody, so that sucks. And anyway, I've got probably all the paint that I need to finish this mess. And like I said before, I want something that kind of looks nice for once, so I might as well cover up my hard work with paint so that nobody can see it, but it will look a lot cleaner instead of having clean metal and rusty metal. I figured it would be nice to do that anyway, so I'm going to set up the time lapse and hopefully ventilate this place, but I do have a respirator and get to work. By the way, I attempted to paint this and it did not come out well at all because the paint that I used is garbage. I used a Krylon paint and it is trash. This is 2 coats. There's runs, there's missing spots. It just doesn't coat. It sucks. Don't buy this paint. I just buy Rust-Oleum because it will cover it. The paint that I bought for the black, though, is a little bit different. Like I showed you before, it's this Magic brand. I don't even know who they are, but I used their Farm and Implement paint on my fuel cell a bunch of years ago, and it's like indestructible. Like, look, I can wipe it off, and it's brilliant. So I think their paint's actually pretty good. So I bought it for that. It was $1 cheaper. I've tried it before, and I've had pretty decent results. So I'm gonna give it a shot again. Well, that's a serious bummer. You see, it's not exactly the thicker stuff that I thought it would be. It's actually fairly similar to the crap that I already had, which kind of sucks because I spent $20 on paint that I don't like. Will it work? Yeah, it'll work. It's just, why is one kind of paint so good and then the rest of it just isn't? I know I should have just paid the extra $1 for Rust-Oleum. Oh well, live and learn. 4 coats and way too much time later, it's almost passable. There's still some blank spots because this paint that I got, even the Krylon and the Magic paint, does not coat. If I had Rust-Oleum, this was literally a 20-minute job. Like this, I just painted that in like 5 seconds trying to miss the pipes because they'll smoke. But yeah, that took like 5 seconds. This took 2 hours plus. I'm trying to keep the light out of the way. But it doesn't look bad. I will give it that. It doesn't look horrible. It coated all right once you put about 50 coats onto it. Like I said, it's about a 6-footer. Looks good from about 6 feet away. Once you start getting up close, it's less than desirable. But you know what? It's just to cover it up. Oh man, yeah. I missed the back side of that pipe pretty bad. So that's awesome. And obviously it doesn't really coat through rust very well. So maybe I'll buy another can. Oh, yeah. And yeah. Maybe I'll buy a can of Rust-Oleum or 2 and try again. Just waste some money on this even more. Or I'll just move on from here and get to putting the car back together. But for now, I kind of have to get to... Let me get this light out of here. I have to get to cleaning off the body and the rockers. The rockers have chipping paint and junk all over them, so I got to get that off. And I got to wipe the doors down from the oils and stuff. And basically, that's all the prep work that I really have to... I got to unmask the exhaust pipe area because I want that to be kind of taped off and be black right where it is. I coated that in some high-temp paint so that it wouldn't peel or smoke or get too hot or whatever. So hopefully that'll retain a little bit of color for that. But we're going to start working on prepping and cleaning to get this thing painted. All right, it's the next day, and I'm taking a look in here, and it actually looks pretty good. I got a couple spots to touch up, and after drying, it looks like it darkened up a little bit, so it's not bad. I'm I'm still kind of mad that it took me, 2 full cans and 4 coats, but, you live and learn. I'll spend the extra bucks on the old Rust-Oleum next time. But I'm getting the body prepped here. I got the top here cleaned off and orange peeled nicely, but at least it's glossy. I'm currently cleaning up the rockers, which I'm really kind of tired of, and I'm just going to paint over it. I got that finished, and I'm going to take a clean rag and wipe down whatever I'm painting. I scuffed this with some Scotch-Brite, and I got to tape it off still, but I'm going to take a clean rag and this brake parts cleaner, like I said, that I got off Amazon. It's mostly isopropyl alcohol and probably some cancer-causing ingredient from the Eastern Europe or Middle East. And I'm going to wipe her down wherever I'm painting, because basically all I'm really painting is I'm going to refresh this white stripe above the quarter right here, the door, and the rocker, since the fender and the quarter and the tailpiece, the nose piece, are all already painted and colored up. We're just going to wipe those down and clean them up, and we're going to get to painting and prepping on these. I have my paint cans kind of 2 feet away from the heater. They're warming up. I had the salamander on. It's really not that bad in here. So I'll let these warm up a little bit, shake them up a few times, keep rotating them. We'll get this cleaned up, and we'll get painting. Having the typical problems because I'm not a body guy. I wanted to save the primer that I was going to use, even though I don't really need it with spray paint, because as advertised, it's paint and primer, which I usually get away with, but when I'm recovering a spot 50 million times, I get this crap happening where it doesn't adhere. So I had to go through and wipe everything off, all the paint and primer, and try to sand it down and try to get it to adhere better, and I'm still having issues. I got the left side taped off, but I wanted to bring this up. I think I was trying to do it by just wiping it off and cleaning it instead of sanding it. And when I went to sand this side, it was like a hard coating on the outside, like it had been, spray paint sitting in the sun for 5 years, and it was just like scraping off a shell. I mean, I was really digging into it, and it was just really hard. So I wonder if it was just kind of I don't know if it was oil or fluid impregnated, because I do a lot of work on the trunk of the car. I'll pull something apart and it might drip oil onto it, whatever the case may be. But I got a test patch going over here after sanding down, and it's not great, but it is better. So I think I'm going to try spraying the rest of the car, see what happens, and if it sucks, it sucks, but knowing me, I'll just rip it off anyway with how I race. This has to be one of the worst paint jobs I've ever done. However, I'm not that sad about it because I'm very hard on equipment. And, you kind of have to be when you're racing in this division. We got some cracking and nonsense here that I didn't see coming before. Didn't really get the fish eyes like last time because I used the primer and sanded it. There I kind of missed wiping something. Here's a couple fish eyes. The rest of it didn't come out so bad. There's a run here because I keep trying to cover up this marker that I forgot to wipe off because I'm stupid. There's some, I don't know what this is, but it came absolutely firing out of the brand new can that I started spraying with, and now I have a textured finish. We'll ignore that. Got a couple little messy spots, but like I said, I didn't do this right because I should have bought primer. But, you know, you stand back here, which is pretty close to the car. I'm only about 4 feet away from it, and it looks like a race car again. We gotta just throw some numbers on it. It'll look pretty good. This side looks probably worse. Not here as much, but right about here with all the runs, because I kept slipping and spraying the same spot over and over, and then I tried to like wipe it off with a rag, which is stupid, and got it even more. And yeah, well, there's some more because again, I didn't use primer. Wow, that's bad. I guess I'll be sanding that down and going over it again. Oh well. But either way, if you don't look very slowly at it, you just kind of, look at that. That's really nice. I'm really hoping that tomorrow my new windshield comes in, because Home Depot actually got back to me, can you believe that, and said, your stuff should be in on Friday. So I'm like, okay, well, tomorrow's going to be Friday now. I'm hoping that it comes in, because then I can at least end this video with a nice fresh piece of Lexan after I've already sprayed everything and got paint dust literally everywhere. So I will check back with you hopefully tomorrow, because I really want to get that done as well. It is the next day, and we are in luck. My new, well, hopefully it's still good, windshield came in. I had to go pick it up at Home Depot earlier, and I really wish I had my truck, because it does not fit in a Crown Victoria. That's bottom line. So I got to get this windshield out. There are a few things that I want to kind of fix on it. It's a little bit of a gap here, and it's not quite cut enough here, but it's cut too much here. So I'm thinking I might take and put some tape on where I want cut, or mark it, and then put tape over the spots that need a little bit extra, so that when I go to trace it out, I'm just going to lay this on top of that, and I could even replicate, I guess, all of the rivet holes. Plus, I got a few rivets that didn't quite drill out here, so I can go through that, fix that, and maybe I'll actually have a nice windshield this year. Again, thank you to all the people who support this channel, particularly Jeff Aslin, who donated to the windshield project, and he's a competitor at Stafford, avid watcher, and I gotta appreciate all that he's done again, and all the people, really, you know, not just him, but all the people who've really kind of come to the table and helped me out, because there's no way that this thing would even be on the racetrack right now without the help I'm getting. So thank you all again. I know I always preface this in every video, but if you can't hear me, it's because I got 2 heaters running now, because New England has reverted back to type, and it's now back to winter weather, you know, 20-something degrees with 50-mile-an-hour winds, so it's like single-digit wind chill. Right back on form. Here's my plan. I got her up on the ironing board table thing. I really want to get that shut off because it's radiating heat and helping this thing bend. I got to get that thing turned off. But I got it clamped. The bottom side, I forgot that I made this actually flat, so that's easy. What my plan here is I'm going to take a Sharpie and just kind of dot all of the rivet holes. And then I'm going to make and trace the outline of it. Hopefully some of these actually do work in my favor, and I can get the thing set to what I want. And I'm really hoping that a lot of these really heavy scratches that I'm seeing in the outside, ooh, like this one, have not transferred through to the actual Lexan, because they go right across the middle of it. So thank you, Home Depot. Right, time to get marking. It's looking like a race car again. I mean, come on, We got a fresh windshield. We got fresh sides. Rear quarter's a little dimply, but who cares? It's starting to come together. I got a new drive shaft U-joint coming for my spare drive shaft in case I need that. Front suspension's together. Engine's in. I got to do the radiator. Rear end's in. Drive shaft's in. I got to basically hook up the brake lines and bleed brakes, and we got to put some decals on this. To those of you wondering, yeah, I am going to leave that protective film over the front of the windshield. I did take the inside one out because I had to put those support straps in, like this right here. I'm going to leave that on until I go racing because, I mean, if you even so much as touch Lexan, it will scratch it just the littlest bit. So I want to try to keep that to a minimum. I don't even know how I kept that windshield together for, wow. That was the original windshield to when I put the car together in 2015. Actually, let me show you. Yep. Same windshield. Same roof, same everything. Yeah, it's from 2016, but I didn't put a piece of windshield in 1 year. That was my first win. And it was the first win in my current car. So, yeah, there's a little bit of evidence. Again, I can't thank y'all enough for helping me out with this car and my racing career. And I'll be honest with y'all, I turned 40 this year. I know I don't look it except for, a little bit of that going on, but it happens when you get older, I guess, right? I got to eat less. So, again, we still have technical stuff to do with the car. I've got to get the driveline fully situated. That'll be another video. I'll be going through the rear end and stuff and finalizing install on a lot of things like radiator and other systems. Then I'm going to show you how I letter this thing. And you're not ready for that one. When I say that I'm a DIY operation, I mean it. I do all my own lettering, by the way. So that's going to be fun. You're going to see technology you forgot existed. So I've got that going on. Again, we got the driveline, lettering, scaling. I think we're only like 35 days from green flag. And I think we're doing okay, to be completely honest with you. I really do. I mean, it's not like we're trying to start putting a clip on it now, So, yeah, we got to clean it out. We got all those things to do. Thank you all so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you didn't mind the last video's length, but, this is back to normal. So, get your friends to subscribe. Subscribe yourself, please. It helps me so much on the business end. I'm like this short of 400, but I need like 600 more in order to even be considered to be monetized by YouTube. But I appreciate all of you regardless. It doesn't really matter. I still like having all y'all how do I rephrase that? That doesn't matter. I still appreciate every single one of you who sticks around, who appreciates my videos. I'm providing free entertainment and I'm giving you a glimpse into the life of a racer. And I'm showing you you can do it. So thank you all again. Until next time.